Welcome to the Guitar Channel. I am super happy to welcome you a new interview. I have on the other side of the Zoom connection the one and only David Grissom. David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Tell me, David, what was your very first guitar?
My very first guitar was I went to the mall, the shopping mall in Kentucky where I grew up, and I rented a Harmony acoustic.
Okay.
So I didn't own the guitar when I started to take the lessons, but shortly thereafter I got some sort of another, like a Harmony electric, and then my first real guitar was a Fender Mustang.
Okay.
That was the big jump.
And do you remember the very first guitar song you were able to play, and can you play it?
I think the first song was maybe House of the Rising Sun, or Sympathy for the Devil, one of the two. Which is 3 chords,
That's the best song.
The version on Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, the live version.
Oh, yeah. Can you play a little bit of Sympathy for the Devil? I would love to hear David Grissom play a Stone song.
It was the
training, so you had a couple of guitar teachers, so that was how you became what you are today?
Well, it was really informal. The guys that I worked with, extremely informal. I'd go up to a guy's attic where he had an amp, and they would come over. It was before I was old enough to drive, and they were a little older. And then I had the first guitar teacher. I could walk to his house in my neighborhood, and then he said, "You need to go to this other guy because I've taught you everything I know." Okay,
Tell us about your composition process. I mean, you just said that you love to write songs. So I don't know, can you pick up one of your songs and explain what was maybe the initial idea? Is it a guitar riff? Is it a melody, a chord progression? Can you show us how you do it?
Yeah, it can be it's different every single time. So the ways that I write are, I'll have a groove or a lick, or that will lead me into it might just be a lick, I have an old song called What Passes for Love. Except I played it more like So I had that lick, and then I'm like, well, that's really cool. I got to write a song. And I was in Australia, and I just saw this. I walked by this war memorial statue, and it just said, "Lest we forget." And I'm like, well, that's the first line. Now I know what the song is.
Very often you do this kind of pedal steel bend, but you have a tremolo, so it shouldn't work. You should be out of tune. So what's the magic trick here?
You have to use the force.
Okay. Here we go.
I'm halfway joking. A lot of it is learning how to just sort of fake that, to coax it, to sort of get off of the certain notes quicker. So, like if you're doing this, I'm holding the same thing, and it can be trickier. Sometimes you have to, so what happens is, on the top strings, when you bend a note with a floating tremolo, they don't go as flat.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get down, you can hear that high E string.
Yeah.
When I bend down on the lower strings, it will make a note go flat. Mm-hmm. And then when I do this, see, it pulls that flat. So you have to sort of figure out how to deal with it. And
pour le prix d'un magazine, abonnez-vous à la chaîne Guitare pour accéder aux vidéos intégrales. For the price of a magazine, subscribe to the Guitar channel to access the full videos.